a theme, touchstone to recognize a standard by which we're recognized. Okay, we know who we are. There's a standard. We talk about the standard all the time. It's not just the way we perform on Sunday, it's how we go about our life on and off the field. We got to take advantage of every opportunity. Seize everything, man. Carpe omnia.
It's week number 3 of this National Football League season, and time for another edition of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy, here inside the Globe Life studio at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones along with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy as the Cowboys take on the Arizona Cardinals. Head on the road for a 3:25 kickoff on Sunday and coach off to a nice 2-0 start to this season. You got to be pleased with the way things are going in all 3 phases of the game, right?
Oh, definitely. I'm very pleased. I think just like anything, you come out of training camp, you want to get your pace of operation going, play style, which I really feel like is probably our best asset. One, you got it started up in New York against the Giants with the blocked field goal, and defense has done a tremendous job taking the ball away. We're +7, and offense is taking care of the football with 0 giveaways. So a lot of production otherwise, but our basics are off to a good start.
Every week in this league is a new challenge, and the Arizona Cardinals off to an 0-2 start, taking Washington and New York down to the wire, had fourth quarter leads against both teams. What are you seeing out of Jonathan Gannon's team?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're scrappy. I think that's the best way to describe them. Veteran football team, a lot of experience, but like you said, they've been in every game. Actually, they had the Giants, 28-7. So, but this will be a great challenge going out there. We're expecting a lot of Cowboy fans, of course, but I think it'll be just a great atmosphere to compete in. But this team has a lot to offer.
It's interesting at quarterback, Joshua Dobbs, a guy you saw when he was a Tennessee Titan, Christmas time last year. Yes. He had been with the Titans for 1 week and starts against you. Yeah. He's been with the Cardinals for less than a month and has 2 starts under his belt. Incredibly intelligent guy. I understand he was an aerospace engineering major in Fort Point at Tennessee. You can see, though, how he's adapted quickly to this offense. Right?
Oh, definitely. I go back to when he was at Pittsburgh. I've always liked his game. So, obviously he'll be a lot more comfortable in their system. And, I think just like anything, we've played 2 games. They've played 2 games. You have a general idea, really how each team wants to play. There's still unscouted looks that'll be part of this weekend, next week. So, we anticipate there'll be some wrinkles. No different for us to them. But, he does a really good job. He's in total command of the offense, so obviously looks a lot more comfortable.
Micah Parsons, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance last week. There's one play in particular I want to ask you about, and that was the play where he made the tackle on Dalvin Cook. Yeah. He starts out, he's playing on the edge, he gets to the boundary, he captures the edge, he makes the tackle, he takes the ball away, then now it came back after review, but he makes an open field move. He looked like a running back running to the end zone. That was Micah Parsons right there, wasn't it?
Oh, you sound like his marketing director trying to get him the ball. But no, Mike is dynamic with the ball in his hands. You go back to his high school days. Was a very productive running back. But yeah, impact player. NFC Defensive Player of the Week. Just all over the field. Creating opportunities for others, but our defense as a whole has done an outstanding taking the ball away. So, and that was a huge play for us.
And it's a team thing too. Another play in particular, Micah's first sack. Mm-hmm. Oso Digizou has been playing so well for you, and you could see on that play, the center takes him, and he is able to hook the center and drive him into Dallas County, right, and open up the lane for Micah to get the sack. Osa's playing at a very high level.
Absolutely, and he's part of a dynamic front. Not only with Osa's individual success, but what I really like is you see the wave of substitution, and everybody's is making contributions, and you can see it's almost the biggest contest to who's going to get there first, and that's a great place to be as a defensive front. So, but yes, Osa is. You could really see it last year in Osa. So, he's really kind of picked up where he left off. He's off to a great start.
All right, we're just getting started on this edition of the Mike McCarthy Show. Next up, we're joined by David Moore, the Dallas Morning News.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, is brought to you by Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant. official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones now joined by David Moore of the Dallas Morning News, Sports Day, DFW.com. And as you all know by now, practice on Thursday, not good for the Cowboys as Trevon Diggs leaves practice with an injury. Later confirmed it is a knee injury that's going to put him out, and that's a big loss for this team, isn't it, Dave?
ACL injury, don't expect him back this season. And yeah, things change quickly. I mean, the week and the day on Thursday when the injury occurred began with basically, the coaching staff and the players fielding questions about, well, how do you not become too full of yourselves after a fast start? This just reinforces how quickly that can change and why no team can afford to get ahead of itself, looking ahead or feeling that they're in better shape than they are. You've already seen a lot of big injuries across the league to key players. Trevon Diggs just the latest.
And of course, Trevon got the big contract signed right before training camp started, but you really feel for him because he was on pace to have another Pro Bowl type season.
And I thought what was so impressive about him early in the season was everyone knows he's one of the best, has some of the best ball skills at the position. And he showed that with his 11 interceptions a couple of years ago. But what he showed this year, he was so physical on the edge. You go back to that starter, the hit on Saquon Barkley that jarred the ball loose, a hit later in the game that also forced a fumble. You saw his physical play on the edge in that second game against the Jets. And to me, in a lot of ways, he exemplified how this defense particularly is all in on becoming an elite defense, because players were showing parts of their game that weren't necessarily their strengths, and that shows you how they're all bought in my mind.
And, of course, everyone was looking forward to Stephon Gilmore on one side, Trevon Diggs on the other. Okay, so what do the Cowboys do now?
Well, certainly Stephon Gilmore, acquiring him makes this a little more palatable for the Cowboys. Deron Bland, who did a very good job when he played at the end of last season as a rookie, you will see him move outside and into that starting spot opposite of Stephon Gilmore to replace Trevon Diggs there. You got Jordan Lewis back last week, so now you have a really solid slot corner. Lewis, I believe, had 10 snaps in that first game back. That will ramp up quite a bit. Happened to talk to him today right after the injury, and he was talking about how good he feels and how he's ready to assume more snaps. So those are the three. Now depth is where the issue, how can Eric Scott come in and help you, their 6th round pick?
I'll help you out with Noah Igbenogany as well.
I was going to mention him.
And he's a boundary corner, and so that's something that they need the depth now.
Exactly. If you remember, he's an outside guy. When they made the trade with Kelvin Joseph, the idea was, well, we were going to leave Joseph inside at the slot, and we needed another outside guy. So now he kind of fits in to where you also have that as well.
But life goes on, even with the injuries, and the Cowboys taking on a Cardinals team, which we'll hear later in the show from Will McClay, some of the weapons that the Cardinals have on offense. Our thanks to David Moore joining us as usual. And up next, it's one of the sack leaders for this team. It's Osa when we come back on the Mike McCarthy Show.
This segment is brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Cowboys and Cardinals Sunday afternoon, and we have an opportunity to chat with one of the team leaders in sacks. No, it's not Micah Parsons. It's Osa Odighizuwa, tied with Micah with 3 sacks on the season.
I feel like we've just been talking about what we could be just the past couple of years, and this year we're being that, you know what I mean? Things are clicking just a lot faster. Everyone's able to just know their assignment and just play fast, just let go. From top to bottom, we just got playmakers. So people like to think of defense as people trying to stop someone else from scoring, but other people are going to have to stop us from making plays on the defense. I feel like, yeah, like just getting to the point where it's like, who are you going to put the double team on? Obviously, you'll want to double team Micah, but if you do that, someone else is going to win. But if you double someone else and Micah's one-on-one, he's definitely going to win. So, you know, it's starting to pose a bit of a problem. It's always like a friendly competition. I feel like they run gap scheme very well. They're a good team. They finish well, and they play football the right way. So we're definitely going to come in our P's and Q's.
Osa doing big things on the Cowboys defense, and Will McClay joins me now. We got the telestrator behind us. Let's take a look at some of these weapons that the Cardinals have on offense. How about we start with the running back, the veteran James Conner?
Yeah, James Conner's a great back. He's got good size, great feet, feel, vision. You're going to look at him here. First thing, you watch his feet. We got his feet highlighted. He's going to take this crossover step, give the blockers time to get there, and then the vision. All right, you see the vision, where's the block, and then ability to get skinny through the hole, and then there's a big chunk play. He's not going to run away from you, but he's going to get you big chunks with his run style.
You see him against the Giants here. He had 106 yards rushing last week against New York.
And we'll take another look at it. Again, you talk about patience. You're looking at him here. Ball's supposed to go inside. He's got the puller there. He reads the blockers. And then he's got enough speed to bounce the ball outside. And he's a load to bring down. We're going to have to rally tackle him.
A couple of guys, Joshua Dobbs trying to get the football too. How about we start with Marquise Hollywood Brown out of Oklahoma.
Former first-round pick, speed, speed, speed. All right, they're going to give you a little funky formation here, but they're going to get the ball in his hands in whatever way. You see 4.35 speed, outrunning angles right there with the ball in his hands on a gadget play.
You can see why they wanted to acquire him from the Baltimore Ravens in a trade. Here's another look at him here.
All right, we're going to take a look at him here. And the quarterback is Josh Dobbs. They're going to run, they got single high. Quarterback's going to read it, but they're going to get him the ball just a simple slant, put the ball in his hands, and then the extra yardage after the catch.
So we've seen number 6, we've seen number 2, wearing number 4, Rondale Moore, and he can do a lot too.
4.31 coming out. Third year, starting to really understand everything. They motion, not much shift by the defense. So now he's on a backer. They don't account for him. And that speed is something else right there. So they're going to try and get him the ball in a bunch of different ways.
High stepping down the sideline here. All right, another look at Rondale Moore.
Loved him coming out of the draft, football player. Football intelligence. Coach McCarthy talks about above the 2.3. Here's a play that takes a while, but his ability to find windows and be available for his quarterback, that also makes him dangerous.
Just an idea of some of the guys to look for on that Cardinals offense. Will we appreciate it? And up next, the coach rejoins us here on the Mike McCarthy Show.
This segment was brought to you by WinStar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
Welcome back to the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Bill Jones with the coach as he rejoins us here. And let's talk about this Cardinals defense a little bit. Jonathan Gannon, the head coach, of course, he was the defensive coordinator with the Eagles. You see some of that Philly defense and the Arizona defense.
Absolutely. And, there's some things that Philadelphia had some success against us with their defense schematically. So, we've obviously taken a close look at that. But, it's a lot of similarities, but I just think like anything, it really comes down to their players, how they're going to utilize them. But this is a salty bunch.
All right, your offense has been pretty salty too, and you think highly of what you have on your offense, and proof positive of that coin flip before the game last week. There's a lot of coaches in this league, and you've done it before where you defer to the second half. You wanted the football to start that game against the Jets. Does that show a sign of the confidence that you have that your team can go 75 yards in 12 plays and start a game right?
I mean, definitely. I mean, there's the conversation that goes on. It's usually Saturday morning. We have a game management coordinators meeting, and we go through all three sides of all three phases and talk about the beginning of the game and make sure we're ready for the end of the game. And that's the focal point. And we just felt strongly that it'd be great just to get out there and try to get out in front and make them play from behind. And we obviously got that done.
Dak had a key play on that drive on a third down play, and he got out and ran for 15 yards, got inside the 5-yard line. He said after the game that his feet told him to take off in that situation. You've worked a lot with him throughout your time here, and your coaches have on his footwork. How big is it that the work that he puts in his footwork and everything that he's able to do in this offense?
Well, I think it's monumental. I think it's the key to the passing game because, the other side of that is the receivers, the perimeter group having their route discipline, as far as the release, the breaking points tied to his feet. And so then the next step is, particularly this week against Arizona, now people are going to try to disrupt the timing of the receivers. But yeah, definitely, that was a major focus for us in the pass game. So, Dak's done a really nice job with that.
CD had 11 catches, over 140 yards in this game, so many yards after the catch. One of the things, even going back to his college days, that I have been so impressed with him is just his toughness. Some of the hits that he takes and so forth, that is one of the great traits that he has. He'll take a hit and he gets right back up.
I mean, there's players that have yards after catch, and there's players that have yards after contact. He is definitely an extremely productive player with yards after contact. He's always broken tackles. I mean, I go back to his punt return, his rookie season. So that's definitely part of his game because his ability to his route running. We expect him to get doubled this week. People started doubling him last year. So, but he has taken it up a notch. So I thought he was tremendous, especially in that first half against the Jets.
All right, we continue the Mike McCarthy Show in just a moment with our unsung star and unsung play of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they're everywhere. They fly around. Got some young guys, got some veteran guys mixed in. Obviously, coach from the Philly tree with the head coach coming over to D.C. last year. Understanding what they want to do, who they want to be, is pretty good. Familiar with me in that sense, but they play hard. And I think that you can go back and look at the Philly teams last year and turn on the tape of the 2 games this year. That stands out. And so understanding they're going to do that. They're going to try to get after the quarterback. They're going to try to get after the ball. And so it's about protecting it and stand within ourselves.
This segment was brought to you by blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
Final couple minutes of the Mike McCarthy Show, powered by Reliant Energy. Time for our unsung star of the week. And I'm going with your center, Tyler Biadasz, and a play that he made late in the first quarter of the game against the Jets. Backed up at your own 3-yard line, 33-yard completion to CD Lamb, and there comes Tyler Biadasz to recover the loose football.
2 weeks in a row, actually. He's which is outstanding. And really, we have a segment we call the Cowboys 6, the 6 fundamentals of football, and John Foster does a tremendous job with the highlights of the week. And I'll just tell you this, that play was the first highlight, and it was the last one. So it's obviously a major emphasis, but with great effort, and more importantly, he was able to recover the fumble. So great job.
You also saw what happened after he recovered the fumble. He was on the ground. He was on the ground, and when the whistle blew, it looked like nobody had touched him. And here's Tyler Biadasz. He gets back up and he starts running for the end zone.
Oh yeah.
I just wish it would have, the whistle hadn't blown and we could have seen how far Tyler.
Oh yeah, no, that'd have been fun. But I loved his body language because he felt, felt like he was robbed of an opportunity to score. So, yeah, that was awesome.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck in
Bill.
Arizona against the Cardinals. We appreciate all of you joining us here for the Mike McCarthy Show, and we will see you again next week.
When I always get my chance to talk in front of the room, I talk about the lion hunt and like the preciseness and how methodical it has to be and how lions have to work as a team to get what they need and so they can feed their families. I said, if you look at this is what we are, bro. Like, we out here trying to hunt this guy and we trying to kill these people so we can feed our families. Like, that's our why. I said, no matter if it's nature or in life, everyone has a why. And like, every week we get a chance to go out there and fight for ours. So I said, we got to be a pack of lions, and Tay's a jaguar, and everyone's just finding their. And then Mozzie said he's an orca now because I bring up the orca talk and how they. So everyone is just finding their own identity of who they want to be. So it's pretty cool, and that's why I do it.
The Mike McCarthy Show, presented by Reliant, was brought to you by blockchain.com. Trusted by millions, trusted by America's team. Ford. Ford is the best in Texas. Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Cowboys. It's Miller time. And by Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys.